The world of law is extremely competitive, and the US legal services industry is forecasted to grow year over year for the next several years, and that means one of two things. Firstly, there's going to be more customers and clients for you to generate as a law firm and attorney, but at the same time, that also means more competition, and your marketing and lead generation strategies really have to stand out and be effective if you want to get the most prospects in your door. That's why in today's video, I'll be sharing 10 lead generation strategies that every law firm needs to use and also how to get started with them today. Number one is search engine optimization, also known as SEO. This essentially is the practice of optimizing your website and web pages for search engines like Google, and ultimately you get more organic visibility, more visitors from Google, Yahoo, and Bing coming to your website, reaching out for a consultation or your services, and then becoming a paying client. The first step is always keyword research. I recommend using something like Google's free keyword planner. You can also use Ubersuggest, Ahrefs, or SEMrush. But ideally, what you're going to do with these tools is enter in your city that you service, the practice area, and then it'll give you keyword ideas and data. Now, with these keywords in mind, there's many places you need to actually enter them on a page, including the title, the meta description, the URL, within header tags, within the actual body of the content, and also I want you to place them in the alt text of images and also file names of media. And that's just a quick recap of how to do keyword research and SEO for a law firm and as a lead generation strategy, so make sure to watch our other video where we cover local SEO a bit more in depth. But that brings me over to strategy number 2, which is email marketing, which is another great way to generate leads as a law firm, because right now 3.9 billion people use email on a regular basis. Odds are you do every day, your clients do as well, and that's why it's the perfect channel to generate leads and reach them in the middle. It's often a lot more cost effective and simpler than doing billboards and paid advertisements. The great thing about building an email list as well is it doesn't matter what channel you're on, you own that email list, you can contact them whenever you want, you can send them promotions, updates, newsletters, any kind of content. And it's your personal audience to tap anytime you're looking to generate leads and keep people updated about your practice. I recommend using a free email marketing software like SendFox. You can always upgrade to the paid version or use other tools like Constant Contact and MailChimp. You click lists on the top navigation to create a list of contacts. And then from there, I recommend either creating a form or landing page via forms and smart pages on the top navigation as well. If you're on something like WordPress and you use Elementor, you can actually make your own custom landing pages and forms and then integrate it with SendFox. But a lot of the times it's as easy as adding a form to your sidebar, your footer, or directly into a piece of content. Once people opt into this, you get their information, their email. I recommend also collecting their first name and last name so you have a lot more personalization available later on when you do send emails. But essentially what you want to do is when you have this email list is send them content, news, updates, anything about your firm, and then every 3 to 4 emails you want to be promotional and actually talk about your services or them scheduling a consultation. Number 3 is social media marketing, because right now 4.2 billion people use social media on a regular basis. You need to be on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all these different platforms, and it's good to have accounts on all of them and then double down on the ones that generate the most traffic and leads for your firm. Similar to email marketing, you want to be sharing content that's valuable and information rich, and then every 3 to 4 posts you can be promotional and talk about getting a consultation or the services you provide. That's why I also recommend sharing blog posts, videos, podcasts you've published, any interviews you've done. You can actually publish testimonials and reviews as social proof, because people can see that they can trust your services, people enjoyed it, it actually helped them, and they'll be a lot more likely to reach out for those services themselves. Number 4 is content marketing. As I've spoken about pretty much throughout this entire video, content is at the heart of a lot of inbound marketing and lead generation efforts, because you're essentially creating content, you're putting it out there, you're getting the right audience, a very targeted audience to come to your business, interact with it, and actually convert into a client. And that begins with having something called a buyer persona, which essentially is a personification of your ideal client. It's going to have everything from their questions, their strengths, their weaknesses, their demographics, and then anytime you're doing your marketing, and specifically content marketing, you reference this buyer persona, so you're always targeting that specific person and attracting them to your business. Now, when you really understand your client, I recommend using a tool like Answer the Public to find topic ideas for blog posts, videos, and podcasts, or any other kind of content you'd like to create. Just simply plug in a keyword related to the topic or your industry as a whole, click search, and then it'll give you literally hundreds of ideas ranging from questions to prepositions and comparisons. Moving on to number 5 is speaking at events and conferences. Now, both online and in-person events are amazing for generating leads. When you're on stage or on screen these days talking about something and you're an expert on it, everybody sees you as an authority. They're very likely to trust you. And webinars and online events in particular are proven to generate leads and convert very, very well. But if you do have the opportunity to speak at physical live events, that's even better. It's really as simple as using a website like meetup.com or Eventbrite, typing in a keyword like law, lawyer, attorney, or legal, and then going through all the available events that are going on in the near future or even in the past, because the goal here isn't necessarily just to attend future events and network, but we do want to be a speaker at these events. So what we can actually do is find these events, find the company or the person that's organizing them, and then send them an email saying that you're an attorney, you work for XYZ law firm, you want to offer some kind of value, teaching people about law or whatever it might be, and propose you would speak at their next event, whether it's for free, because remember, you are going to generate leads and a lot of awareness, or if you'd like to charge them, and then send that kind of email and message out to many different organizers every day, make a schedule out of it, and you're bound to land a lot of public speaking gigs. And if you do this on a regular basis, it actually makes landing further gigs easier because you have all those previous talks to leverage as proof. Number 6 is a classic that you should already be doing, and you probably already are, and that's asking for referrals. Now, a lot of law firms, from our experience, actually rely strictly on referrals when getting new clients and generating leads, which is amazing because you do a good service, people talk about it, but you should also be proactive when you actually reach out to previous clients and ask them if they know anybody that could use your services and benefit from them. You should also consider using a service like Referral Candy, which actually allows you to create incentives for clients to refer you other people. This could be a paid incentive, gift cards, something that essentially gives them a reason to refer more people to your firm. Number 7 is updating and redesigning your website, because nowadays your website is essentially the new business card. It's the first thing people see online. They're going to be on social media using Google, and eventually they're going to find your website. And if it's outdated, it doesn't look very new or modern, and it's clunky and hard to use, people are probably going to click that back button and they're going to go to a competitor. That's why it's really crucial these days that you have a modern, professional website that really accurately reflects your firm's values and the value you offer to your clients. And while you can update your website by yourself, and normally you would do it every few years or so, you can reach out to WiseMedia for a free consultation, and we'll talk a little bit more about how we can actually help you bring your idea to life, update your website, and generate a lot more leads doing so. And that brings me over to number 8, which is becoming a guest on podcasts, because right now, 50% of all homes are podcast fans. I don't know about you, I love listening to Joe Rogan, marketing podcasts, Seth Godin, you name it. And that's why podcasting is an extremely effective way to generate leads as a law firm if you have your own. But it's also great to go on other people's shows and podcasts, because doing this allows you to leverage someone else's audience. For example, if a show has 50,000 different listeners, you don't yourself have to build up that show and that 50,000 person audience. You can go on that show one time and leverage their audience and get in front of that many people who are very targeted without actually having to build it yourself. Now, I recommend doing something like going to SoundCloud or Spotify, looking up legal related podcasts, and then similar to what we did with the public speaking events, you actually reach out to these organizers and the people that run the show, the hosts, and you essentially pitch them with your background, your credentials, the value you could offer, and propose that you come on the show as a guest. And if you do this enough on a regular basis, you'll end up on many different shows. You can use that for PR and social proof on your website as well. And it's an amazing way to increase that visibility online and generate leads. Number 9 is running paid ad campaigns. Now, at the end of the day, a lot of what I've been talking about in this video can be done for free outside of just internal resources, time, and energy, but always effective to spend money to generate leads as well, because if you do the right creative, sales copy, and targeting, you can spend $1 and generate 2 or 3 in many cases or more. Now, that's why I recommend something like Facebook ads or Google ads. They're really easy to start. A lot of them have built-in split testing and optimization features, which actually make it easier than ever to find winning campaigns again and again. And that brings us over to, last but not least, number 10, which is understanding the marketing funnel. Now, it's really common for law firms and attorneys to drive a lot of traffic and actually have a lot of good marketing strategies in place, but they don't understand that the funnel and the buyer's journey is really important and actually drastically changes how they should be generating leads and interacting with these prospects. So just first understand that people are going to go through a journey when they get your legal services. The first step is always awareness. They become aware of a certain legal issue they have or a problem that requires a lawyer like you. Then they move into the consideration stage. Here is where they're researching different firms and attorneys in their area. They're essentially weighing the pros and cons of who they should hire. And then finally, they go into the decision stage, which is actually where they reach out to one specific attorney, get that consultation, if not multiple, but actually make a final decision about who to work with. And that ties into the marketing funnel because at the top of the funnel, it's very wide. So essentially what we're doing is we're publishing blog posts, videos, podcast episodes, social media content to reach the widest possible audience. Still keeping it targeted, of course. And then in the middle of the funnel, we want to segment and collect people's information. We want to find if there's 1,000 people coming to our website every day, who's actually serious about becoming a client. And we do that with lead magnets. These are essentially free downloadables. They can be PDFs, cheat sheets, resources, videos, case studies, anything that essentially would be of value to your client, but it's gated behind some kind of form. They have to enter their information to get it. So if you have 1,000 people that come to your website, maybe 50 will download this every single day, and you've instantly separated the wheat from the chaff. Who is more serious about actually learning about your industry, this particular problem, and getting your services? And by downloading that lead magnet and putting in that effort to get it and exchanging their information, clearly they are more than the average user. After this, in the back end, whether it's your sales team or use marketing automation with tools like I mentioned earlier, such as SendFox, you can begin sending out emails or even phoning them, proposing a free consultation, talking about your services, and that's the bottom of the funnel. So if you think about it, we're driving all this traffic to our legal website, we're offering these free resources that they have to enter their information for to get, and then in the back end, we're going to be upselling on our services. If you'd like to learn more about lead generation strategies for law firms, make sure to go into the description of this video. You can read our full blog post where I go a lot more in depth into all these 10 strategies, and there's also a recap at the very end. You can also reach out to our team for a free consultation if you'd like to learn more about how we help law firms grow. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.